Hello, this is Patrick with New Jersey's Outdoor Adventures YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to teach you how to empty the gray and black waste sewage tanks in your camper van or RV. So join me. The RV lifestyle can be very rewarding, but one of the most feared tasks is emptying the gray and black waste tanks. Now in some RVs, they combine the gray and black waste tank together into one combination tank, and in most RVs, it's two separate tanks. The gray waste would be for your kitchen sink, bathroom sink, and your shower drain, and the black tank would be for your toilet waste. Now in some RVs, they use a combination tank where the gray and black waste dump into one tank and discharge together. On other RVs like fifth wheels, they might have two gray tanks, one in the front, one in the rear, and then a black tank as well. I see a lot of van lifers out there building their own RVs. A lot of them use composting toilets and direct drains outside and no holding tanks. So no matter which type of RV you own, you might encounter needing to empty the waste. So in this video, I'm going to demonstrate the steps needed to empty your waste. Now when it's time to empty the waste, you want to make sure you're emptying it into the proper dump station. Now if you're at a campground, they could have a dump station right at your site or one in the park that you could utilize. If you're not at a campground, you could pass through a campground, pay a fee, and they'll allow you to use their dump station. Some truck stops will also have dump stations. Now, what do you do when you're at home and you haven't stopped at a campground? Well, I was fortunate enough, I have city sewer. So I have a sewer line that goes from the house right to the street. There's a clean out at the house and there's a clean out by the street. What I did was I called DigSafe, and it's a free service that will mark out your utilities if you're going to be digging up parts of your yard to make sure that you don't accidentally pierce a shovel through one of your utility lines. Once they did the mark out, I was able to locate my sewer line, and I dug up the grass a little bit and I found the cap, and it was about 8 inches below grade. What I did was I cleaned it out really good and I added a 4-inch sleeve on top of it and then a brass cap that unscrews, and that will allow me to slip my waste hose right into that and discharge the waste. Now you do want to check to make sure your township or city allows you to do something like this before you go ahead and do it. First thing what we're going to do is we're going to put on some vinyl gloves. Now I bought an extra large ones because they're just so easy to slip on. Then what we're going to do is we're going to grab our elbow. We want to make sure that when you hook up a waste hose that you have an elbow. This is a clear elbow to allow you to see the waste as it goes through. What I'm going to do is take the cap off and I'm going to screw in the elbow. Now sometimes you're going to go to a dump station and there's going to be no threads to screw this in, because you want to make sure you have a very secure fitting here. That way when the waste discharges through and that big rush comes through, this doesn't pop out and discharge waste all over the ground. That can be very embarrassing. So what you want to do is you want to pick up a rubber donut. This is designed to slip over the elbow on the waste hose, but allows you to wedge it in and then slip the elbow right into it. Now that you have that secured, you want to grab your waste hose. I have a waste hose storage tube right underneath my van. A lot of RVs have a storage compartment for it, or it can slide into a back bumper. Regardless, you want to make sure it's stored separately than the rest of your items in your trailer. If you don't have that option, then you want to put it in a large plastic bag. So I'm going to snap on the end right to the elbow first. Get that tight. And then I'm going to go over to the wastegate and the discharge. I'm going to take the cap off slightly and allow any residual to drip right into the waste hose. You don't want it dripping all over the ground. Then you're going to snap that on nice and tight. And just double check, make sure everything's secure. Now I have a curb here, so this part's a little bit lower. You could buy some grading plastic devices to allow you a perfect grade right into the campground's dump station. For the demonstration video, I'm just going to leave it low like this. You always want to empty your black waste first. That would be your toilet waste. You're going to pull the wastegate straight out, and that will discharge all the waste right into the waste hose, and then you'll see it through the clear elbow. Not that you might want to look at it, but you can see the flow there, and you'll know it's done by either listening to it or if you don't see any waste coming through. and let that drain completely first. Then you want to close the wastegate, but I always open and close it a couple times, just in case any debris was stuck in the wastegate, that you get a really good seal before you close it. Then what you want to do is follow through with the gray waste, which will be your sink and shower. It's soapy water. It will clean out your waste hose. Now, some RVs have a black tank flush. It's like a little shower head inside the black tank. So you could hook up a garden hose after you empty the waste. You would leave the wastegate open, and it would spray down the walls of the tank to get any residual waste out. I don't have that feature on my motorhome, but sometimes what I'll do is I'll get the tank to about a quarter low, and I'll buy some bags of ice and crush them really good and pour them down the toilet and drive around. That ice banging around in the tank gets and cleans the walls of the tank down very good. Let it melt a little bit and then do your discharge. So after you close the black tank, you want to open up your gray waste tank, and now you have soapy water that's going to flow through, and it's going to help clean out your waste hose. And you can always move it around a little bit, because these ridges here can catch some waste and get it all down. Once that's done flowing through, you're going to close the wastegate. Again, you can go in and out a couple times, make sure you got a good seal. And then the best practice would be to unhook it from the RV side first. Any residual waste that drips out, catch it in the waste hose. Then bring it up nice and high, wiggle it around a little bit, and get all that waste out. Water, sewage, toilet paper, whatever's stuck in there, before you unhook it. And what I do is I keep both ends up nice and high, and then I keep one up high, and I feed it back into the tube. You're always going to get a little residual on your hands, that's why I'm wearing the gloves. And when you're done, undo your elbow. You can put this in a big Ziploc bag if you can't fit this in your waste hose tourist tube, which most can't. And then you put back on your cap. And then for storage purposes, I stick the donut right onto the end and put it away in the storage compartment. Well, this is Patrick with New Jersey's Outdoor Adventures YouTube channel. I hope you found this video helpful. Please like this video, comment, share, subscribe. I'd love it, and we'll see you soon.